like when it upload like privately. So a lot of time, like cause we haven't tried StreamYard since the 12th. Cause when we upload it upload privately. You know, I think it might have uploaded privately again.
Okay.
You wanna see if it's
Yeah.
it's online. So we live?
Yeah, we live.
So it worked.
Shit, it's 2 people on the comment board. It's what it say. Shit, it's 2 people on the comment board.
Okay, all right. The Wadi Yahawashi.
Yahawashi.
Hey, shalom.
Shalom.
We first off want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rokakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and the sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. All right, we just want to go into a lesson through the Spirit on not having a continuing city in this place, but we seek one to come. All right, the Lord has a rest prepared for us through the Spirit, but this place is not our rest. All right, and that's the hope that we have. The helmet of salvation involves that hope for the kingdom, actual rest. All right, our people have been convinced that this is what life is supposed to be like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, growing old and waxing old in your enemy's land is not the intention that the Lord has for us at the end of this. All right, but we seek a kingdom to come.
Right. This is Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 16. It says, but to the... No. Let me see.
Hit
14.
Where you at?
14.
All right, come.
This is Hebrews 13 and 14. It reads, for here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come.
Go ahead.
And just like the brother was saying, you know, right now we don't have a continuing city. You know, this place is not our rest, like the brother brought out, which we might as well get, right?
Yep.
Since we already quoting it. This is Micah 2 and 10. It reads, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. And this place is polluted. You know, how can you rest in a place that promotes everything that's against your power? All right, everything that is promoted here in America is rebellion against Yahawashi. How can this be your rest? You know, you look around and all your people are in a lower state, man. Every one of your nation is in the lower state. Even though some jakes may have a piece of the pie, they still in the lower state because they being attacked by demons. They being attacked by them higher ups. You know, they in these different rooms where they seeing all the abominations and filthiness. So they being attacked too. You know, that's why the Lord said, this is not your rest. Arise ye and depart. And that arise ye and depart is not talking about physically. All right, we have no need to depart out of America, Babylon the Great. All right, right now what it's speaking about is arising and departing mentally and spiritually. All right, the Lord will handle our physical departure when he returns, Lord willing, we're that number. But right now it's essential for that mental and spiritual departing from America. Because if you stay, if your mind and your spirit is attached to this place, eventually you'll be polluted. Eventually you will succumb to the demons of Babylon, man. That's why the Lord constantly harps on us not being entangled with the affairs of this life. You know, being transformed by the renewing of our mind. You know, having our conversation in the heavens. You know, having a holy conversation. All right, so that we constantly have our eye focused on that continuous city, that city to come, which is the kingdom of Israel, spearheaded by Yahawashi Mashiach, who is our Lord. All right, and 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel. All right, that's what we seek. All right, that continuous city, that everlasting city.
Beautiful. Hey, real quick, shalom to everybody on the comment board. Shalom, Yahawashi Brakatah. GMS Yawanathan put 2 Peter 3 and 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. Right. And that's what we want. You know, you got Edomites out here who have grown up in a household where their grandfather was born in. Jake don't even know what that kind of reality is like. Being able to be in the same house for 7 to 8 generations. All right, that's something that's completely foreign to our people, man. All right, and that's what the Lord is preparing, a greater rest for us, man. Our people have been conditioned to believe that this is all there is.
Right.
All right, and we had talked about it briefly on the Highways and Hedges of the experiment they did with the fleas, where they put the fleas in this glass jar. And the fleas, after a point in time, you know, the guy released them out of the jar, but they can only jump as high as the lid of that jar. And that's how our people think. They lack that vision of the kingdom. They've lost hope in the vision of actual rest. And they've traded it for this, which is symbolic rest. It's not even real rest. Your PTO days is not real rest. Because even in your PTO days, you're thinking about your bills. You're thinking about how your situation is going to get resolved. You have children and you're worried about them children. All right, before they're even born. You find out you're real pregnant and you worry instantly.
Yeah.
You don't even get to enjoy the act of the Lord giving you a son or a daughter. That's not rest.
Right.
And that's what the Lord is preparing for us. Matter of fact, I got this real quick. This is 2 Esdras 2:10. Thus saith the Lord unto Esdras, tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Yahawashi, which I would have given unto Israel. Their glory also will I take unto me, and give these the everlasting tabernacles, which I have prepared for them. They shall have the tree of life for an ointment of sweet savor. They shall neither labor nor be weary. We don't even know what that's like. To labor and not be weary. To not labor and not be weary. Jake always tired.
Yeah.
Your active function is tired, man. That's why you always need coffee. All right? Jake he wake up to coffee and go to sleep to Hennessy. That's not a life, man.
Yeah.
Now the Lord made certain things for our pleasure, but that's not a life. That's what you do to escape from life and to give yourself a pick-me-up to go through this life, man. As the curses say, I would that it were evening when it's in the morning. Yeah. That's not a rest for us, man. And just because you have a Jay-Z or a LeBron James, Esau tries to tell you that this is your rest. This is not our rest, man. They don't even rest.
Right.
You got Edomites, the Walton family. I use them as an example. Their whole family is resting. They don't have to go to Walmarts and check out the stores and make sure they just rest. Generation after generation. You think they worried when they find out their wife pregnant? No. Beautiful. Zion Kodash, America is an illusion of prosperity and stability. And only a very small percentage of Edomites get to actually enjoy the prosperity and stability. These Joe Six-Packs don't even get to enjoy the rest of their kingdom.
Nope.
How much more so our people? That's why the Lord said, arise ye and depart. Because the Lord constantly reminds us, this is not our rest.
Right.
The fact that we got to wake up, on our way to work, we got to hit a coffee. We got to get the Colombian coffee. They're super strong. I like my coffee black. Why? Because we not in our rest. We have no ease in this place, man. Yeah. And it was designed for correction, not for comfort. But there is a comfort coming, man. Matter of fact, 2 Esdras 2, continuing in verse 13, it says, go and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch.
Hey, and right now, the Lord, right now what we're experiencing is the Lord answering our prayers.
Yep.
All right, our sighing and our crying, it hasn't gone unheard, Akin. All right, the Lord has been hearing each and every one of our supplications. That's why these things are happening around the four corners of the globe. The Lord is tearing up the earth for our sakes, man. Understand that. And these are according to the promises that he made to our forefathers, man. Just like the brother Yahawashi put on 2 Peter 3:13. All right, these are according to the promises that the Lord left with our people, man. The Lord is starting to come through on his word, man. All right, that's why we see the earth being torn up, man. That's why we see our people being imparted with the spirit of truth, the spirit of faith. This is why we see these things. It's because the Lord is hearing our supplication and he's preparing that kingdom for us. It's already prepared. All right. The Lord is just waiting on his time to come back. All right. And to give it to his elect, man, to share it with his elect.
Real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 1. Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it.
Right, and that's the downfall of 2/3 of our people, of course, is because they can't see the bigger picture. The Lord didn't impart in them faith. All right, in order to see this big picture, in order to see this continuous city, all right, to envision it, to take part of it before it's actually manifested on the earth, you have to mix these things that we hear with faith.
Man,
you got to, man. Look, the Lord didn't put these words here in this book for us to continue to read and to read and to read without believing it, man, without actually implementing it, man. These things were put in place for us to actually embody, to actually believe with every fiber in our being. That's the promises, the prophecies, All right, the salvation, the mercy, the judgment, all of it encompassed was meant for us to have faith in, man. And without faith, this word won't profit you. You can't see this continuous city. And right now, you can, the comment board, brothers on the comment board, brothers doing lessons around the four corners of the globe. This is that continuous city being built up right now. Right now, in the midst of our enemies. What did the Lord say? He'll prepare a table for us in the midst of our enemies, man. And that's exactly what's happening right now. All right?
Hey, and for those brothers who know, when you get the fellowship with the brothers, that's a small taste of the kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
When you get the fellowship with the brothers, that's a small taste of the kingdom of heaven, man. And that's what the Lord gives us. This is why the kingdom doesn't come by observation. It's being seen in the minds of the elect, man. But it will manifest. It's not just going to stay on comment boards and YouTube forever. Eventually, the kingdom that's written about is going to manifest in the physical world that we dwell in. And most of our people have lost faith in that promise that was left to us. Mm-hmm. They don't believe that we have a rest prepared for us. That's why they settle for Babylon the Great, because they don't believe ultimately that the Lord has a rest for us. I remember the elder Ariella said this. Jake, growing up in this society, don't believe they deserve anything good to happen to them, man. Mm-hmm. They believe that this is just our position in life forever, and we got to pass this down to our children's children, man. This is a temporary state of being. The Lord is preparing something great. Matter of fact, real quick, before you make your point, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 2 and verse 34. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, and that's talking about Jake, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest. For he is nigh at hand, that shall come in the end of the world. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore, man.
Right. And it says, be ready to the kingdom. Man. Hey, how do we make ourselves ready? It's like those the parable of the 5 virgins. 5 are foolish, 5 are wise. And those wise virgins, they stored up oil. And as soon as the Lord knocked, they were ready. And we want to be ready. We don't want to have to get ready when the Lord returns. We want to be ready. When the Lord cracks those clouds, we want to be the water Yahawashi. We want him to return to our glory, or to our amazement, not to our judgment
or regret.
Regret, the water, not to our regret, man. We want the Lord to return unto our glory, But if I may say this, to the point that the brother was making earlier, growing up here, Jake believes that nothing belongs to them, and that's because, like he was going into earlier, it's that flea bottom. Jake has been broken, and like it says in Deuteronomy 28th chapter, thy enemy shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And there's no need for a yoke of iron on our people anymore, because that yoke is in their mind mentally. But now through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, we've been freed from those bonds. If I could get 2 precepts.
Come on, because you know how bad that is to the only time you get joy is on wicked holidays with your family.
You barely enjoy that.
Yeah. That's the only time when you think about your childhood growing up. What do you think about? Them barbecues or them festivals that you can count on one hand. That's not the life. That's not a life, man. That's not how the Lord designed for us to live. This was our punishment, not our rest. And that's why the Lord said in Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. You were never designed to settle here permanently. We were always supposed to have a pilgrim mindset here, that this is temporary. The Lord's preparing a kingdom for us, man. But you have to believe that. You have to envision yourself in the kingdom. You have to envision that, man. That's what the helmet of salvation is. You got it?
Yeah, that's beautiful right there. Virgin Island Straight Gate. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahawashi Shah Brakatah. This is Hosea 66, 6 and verse 1. I think it's 66 and 6 and verse 1.
6 and 1.
It says, come and let us return unto the Lord, for he have torn, and he will heal us.
Man.
He have smitten, and he will bind us up. All right. Hey, look, the Lord torn us at one point in time, and we still torn. But that promise was what? That he'll heal us back up. That he'll bind us back up. He'll bind those wounds, and that's what we're in the midst of right now. The wounds being binded. Brothers not tripping off the things of the world no more.
Right.
We're not in that dark mentality, because black culture, Latino culture, Native culture, that's a dark mentality. That's a mentality that's a swift path to destruction. We were all crash dummies.
Yep.
To put it simply, we were all crash dummies before we came into this truth. And that's the Lord binding us up again, giving us that spirit of faith, giving us that spirit of truth. And now we're able to maneuver in this valley of the shadow of death with season, with poise. Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord is upon us. Why? Because we have faith now. We have a newfound hope, a renewed hope in what? Those promises that were made to our forefathers. We have a newfound hope in the healing that's coming not only to us, but to our nation.
Man, matter of fact, verse 2 of that precept Virgin Island Straight Gate put up. After 2 days will he revive us, and the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Ooh. So right now we're being revived. We're being raised up. All right. That links up with Revelation, the 11th chapter, where it talks about our dead bodies. But now the Lord is breathing the breath of life back into us, and we're beginning to call upon our power again. And you have to envision the kingdom, man.
Right.
Envision you having children and getting to enjoy them. Envision you having to never be tired of work.
Right.
Because you got Edomites that live in this society that you never see, that never work. They don't have to worry about work. Their children don't have birth certificates. They can have their children be birthed in their estate.
Yeah.
That's a reality for Edomites out here. And that's the reality the Lord is preparing for us, man. You having the scripture says, small ones shall be 1,000. Your children shall play with with poisonous snakes.
That's cold.
This is what the Lord is preparing for us. Something greater. Why would you settle for this when the Lord is promising us something that Esau can't even imagine? Esau is trying to do all of these different things around the world to get what the Lord's going to give you in the twinkling of an eye, man. That's why the scriptures say, pray for a few days unto you. There is a greater gift of hope and life that the Lord is preparing for us, man. Right. And that's what we have to continue to keep our mind on. That's what's going to keep that smile on your face when you meditate on the kingdom, seeing Yahawashi in the flesh.
Right.
Could you imagine seeing Yahawashi at a festival? All right, at a new moon feast? Could you imagine Yahawashi smiling, being in a good mood? The Lord said he was going to rejoice over us with singing. Could you imagine that? Seeing Jake without number, everybody having a good time in peace and in unity, man. Yeah. Just as far as the eye can see, nothing but laughs, jokes, children, brothers having wine, brothers giving gifts one to another. Our women being at peace and in order, even with each other. That's what the Lord is preparing for us, man.
Right.
We're not supposed to settle for this. This was temporary. This was a punishment for us being spoiled children. You got it.
If I get two.
Absolutely.
I wanted to get two to your point, but I'm gonna get this one real quick since just so it don't pass. This is Hebrews 6 and verse 17. It reads, wherein the Heavenly Father, willing more abundantly to shew unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath. It says, willing more abundantly to shew unto the heirs of the promise the immutability of his counsel. And what are we? Through the Spirit. We're of that. We're joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him. Lord willing, we're the elect. So the Lord made us privy to his immutable counsel, his unchanging counsel. All right. It says, confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things, in which it was impossible for the Heavenly Father to lie, we might have a strong consolation, who have fled for refuge to lay hold upon the hope set before us, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul, both sure and steadfast, and which entereth into that within the veil.
And it says that hope is your anchor. That hope in the Lord, man. That the Lord actually, man, the Lord care about us, man. Humbly speaking, the Lord care about you. That's what Yahawashi, when he was saying the number of your hairs are counted. He was showing how much the Lord care for you. The Lord say our walls are continually before his eyes, man.
Right.
Don't let Babylon get in the way of that love that Yahawashi is showing us by giving us this hope.
Right.
Because that faith is a gift. For you to even believe that you have an opportunity for salvation, that's a gift that the Lord opened your mind up to receive and understand, man. You got it.
Hey, and if I may say this too, to that point, with this newfound hope, you gotta realize too, life is gonna be hard. This life is going to be hard. It's supposed to be hard. But I like to use this analogy. It's like complaining about it is like a Jake at the job. If any of you I can work construction and you work in the elements, you'll always have that one dude that's, oh, it's hot out here, it's cold out here. We know, bruh. Because we out here with you. You know, we know life is hard,
right.
but what are we gonna do about it? We're gonna get the work done,
right?
So that then we can get in the truck, or we can get back to the yard and chill out. And that's what we're in the process of doing right now. Yeah, this life is hard, man. It's hard. You know, it's different things thrown our way that sometimes you don't think you're ready for. But guess what? The Lord gave you wisdom, knowledge, understanding, faith, and a hope.
Yeah, let me get this one real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 9. Man, I'll start at 8. For if Yahawashi had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of Yahawashi. This is not it, but there remaineth the rest for us. It's coming. That's the hope that we have, that rest is coming to us, man. To be able to relax, to be able to be at peace with all of your people. Because it said it remaineth the rest for the people of the Lord, man. Not for everybody, but for the people of the Lord. The scriptures in Numbers say that we shall dwell alone. We shall not be reckoned among the people. A big family reunion forever with no expiration date.
Yeah.
Granny gonna be in her right mind in that day.
Right.
Auntie and them, they gonna be in their right mind. Passing gifts one to another, having children and being happy that you having children, man. Actually enjoying them, not worrying about, man, I gotta be nice to this Edomite so I can, hopefully keep my job because I got a family to take care of.
Yeah.
Our life hangs in the balance. But it wasn't meant to stay like this. That's the hope that we have through the Spirit, man. Right. Continuing, it says, for he that is entered into his rest, he also has ceased from his own works, as Yahawashi did from his. Let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. And that was to your point. You got it.
Hey, in order to rest, you got to work. All right, work comes before play. All right, work comes before rest. You got to work before you can rest. You got to get the work done. And right now, that's what we're in the process of doing. We got to get this work done in order for us to rest. All right, and right now, spiritually, the Lord is giving us rest. He's giving us rest from the affairs of this world. He's giving us rest from the different mental afflictions that, you may come with, living here in the Babylon the Great. The Lord is giving us a rest in His truth within the brotherhood, and that's something to cherish, and it's something that's something to work toward building,
Hey, real quick, this is We Got Next, Mac, and it's Matthew 11:28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
Right.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls.
Right.
For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Right. Hey, and brothers ain't worried about keeping up with the Joneses no more. We're not worried about having a good job, having a whole lot of money in the bank. We're not worried about these things no more, man. We're at rest with that. We're not worried about pleasing the people of this world. All right, we're not worried about that.
Hey, because there remaineth the actual rest, man. An actual rest, bro. Like, the Lord said everlasting joy. When you think about some happy moments in your life, how small and temporary was that happy moment? Maybe you got a gift you didn't expect, Maybe you got the girl you wanted. Maybe there's little moments in your life that you can look back on and be like, that was a time I had joy. Mm-hmm. The Lord said He's preparing everlasting joy for us. A joy that never ends. That can't even be imagined in this society because of how much we labor, all right, to enter into that rest. But that's what the Lord is preparing for us. That's why the Lord said, behold and wonder, for He shall work a work in our day that we will not believe though it be told us. Now, we talk about the prophecies when it relates to that, but it's also the kingdom too. Because you got a lot of Israelites that know that they're Israel, but they can't envision exactly the kingdom and have that joy upon the hope of that kingdom and that rest. Mm-hmm. This is why the Lord left certain clues of what the kingdom is going to be like, so you could have that be an anchor unto your soul, that trust that the Lord has a rest prepared for us, man. That's why we don't run uncertainly, because we know that at the end of this, if we endure to the end, there's a rest that remaineth for the people of Yahawashi, man.
Right.
You got it.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 8. I'm going to start at verse 51. It reads, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteous is made ready. A city is builded. and rest is allowed. Yet perfect goodness and wisdom, the root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end issued the treasure of immortality.
And can you imagine living forever in righteousness? Because the scriptures say that man's thoughts are always plagued with death.
Right.
Imagine being eternal, everlasting joy. That's what's being prepared through the Spirit, man. That's why when you meditate on the kingdom, it makes your problems this big in this life. When you meditate on what the Lord is actually preparing for us, man, Lord willing, we're a part of that number. There's a rest being prepared, man. And we're going to get some of those examples, too. I'll go in Isaiah 66 and get some of those examples. You got it,
I'll read it. Well, let me get this then.
Con.
This is Isaiah chapter 61. And I'm going to start at verse 1. Going back to that analogy, about how the Lord has given us that rest from being broken. This is Isaiah 61 and verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord power is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
Yep.
He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound.
Hey, can you imagine that? Can you imagine the good news that the Lord is preparing and you being a part of that? Not just, and we talk about this all the time because it's important. When you see and you hear about the blessings, you have to put your mind at that place and imagine the Lord talking to you directly.
Right.
Not just Jake in general. That's what the hope is. It's not a hope for a general salvation, but it's hope for you to have salvation. That's why you've received this truth. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being able to have servants? All right, to have a rulership in righteousness and be a part of that. That's what's being prepared. Not being tired, not having to work your hands to the bone, not having to work 40 years for the Edomites just for them to give you a retirement benefits where you got to go to Medicaid and Medicare. Well, the only thing you can give your grandson is a watch, right, or your Bible. There's an actual rest being prepared for us, man. And that should get you excited through the Spirit. You got it.
It reads, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. And they shall build the old waste. They shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations.
Yep.
And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks.
Hey, can you imagine that? You sitting at your estate and you watching, your servants make sure your vineyard is trimmed and taken care of. That people are taking care of your children. You putting your children in the hands of caretakers so you can actually enjoy life. Because the Lord say we're going to be called the priest of the Lord. And it's in that same chapter. You got it.
It says, and the sons of the aliens shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord, Yahawashi. Men shall call you the ministers of our power. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. For your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them.
Hey, that's everlasting joy shall be unto us, man. Lord willing, we're a part of that number of the first fruits. Everlasting joy is being prepared through the Spirit, man. That's why this life itself, man, can't get you down, man. You can't let this life get you down because that's what's being prepared. Every day we wake up, we're closer and closer to the kingdom, man.
Right. Hey, if I may hit him with it, something the brother says all the time, our worst day is our best day. Your worst day in this truth is your best day. Why? Because you still know who you worship. You still have the names of your Heavenly Father and the only begotten Son. You still have faith, wisdom, knowledge, understanding. All right. You still have a sound mind. So our worst day is our best day, man.
Real quick, this is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end.
Right. And the thoughts of the Lord toward his elect, the whole nation, is thoughts of peace. But right now on this side is toward the elect, And if the Lord is having these thoughts, who are you to have different thoughts? You know, who are you to think otherwise when it comes to the Lord thinking thoughts of peace towards our nation? You know, the Lord made a promise to us, man. He said that he will heal us up. He said that he will heal our wounds. He said that he will lead us into captivity no more. He said that he'll give us an everlasting city, a rest. He said these things, man. All right, he has these thoughts of peace towards us. So who are you to think otherwise? You know, it's time to envision the kingdom. You know, you got to envision it for yourself. It's different when you hear the orders from the general himself. It's different when you hear the orders from the captain himself. Envision yourself hearing these orders from the captain himself, Yahawashi. All right, Yahawashi gave direct orders to his elect. Look, do the work. All right, fight for me. And at the end, I'll give you rest. Man, and that was a direct order.
Can you imagine how Yahawashi's voice sound?
Yeah.
You know, bro. Could you imagine seeing Yahawashi smile for like the first time? Like, could you imagine that?
Bro.
Can you imagine seeing Yahawashi in the flesh? Like the same way the wind touch your skin and you get to see certain things in this life and enjoy it. Could you imagine even having a nosebleed seat to see Yahawashi?
Right.
Just to see him move and just to see him talk and conduct the kingdom. Could you imagine that? Being able to see him say, hey, give a speech before all of Israel. Could you imagine that? Man, that's what's being prepared, man. There's a greater blessing and rest being prepared for us, man. It ain't all doom and gloom. We have to stand strong and keep our hands strong through the Spirit to get through this time. But the rest is being prepared, man. Yahawashi is going to be in the flesh, man. Lord willing, we're a part of that number. You're going to actually get to see him, man.
Right.
He's going to look at you. Man, could you imagine Yahawashi, his gaze
bro, that
coming upon you?
That atmosphere got to be tough.
The thoughts of peace, man. That's what's being prepared. The kingdom is being prepared. It ain't just having marriages and wives and children. That's a beautiful thing. But the reason we focus on that is because that's the only thing that we can really measure the kingdom by.
Yeah, because we deprived of it.
Because we deprived of it. But there's a greater... Could you imagine chariots over all the houses of Israel? When you walk out your door in the kingdom and you just look up and it ain't nothing but chariots everywhere? Set up as a defense? Could you imagine witnessing a small child lead animals, play with snakes? Could you imagine that? That's what's being prepared, man. Right. Jake love going to the zoo to see life, but it be tainted because them animals be miserable. Right, could you imagine that? Children playing with lions. You can let your children out the house and just not worry about them. That's the kind of rest that's being prepared, man. And ain't no check in Babylon can equate to that. You got it. I got one real quick if you ain't got one.
Nah, yeah, you wanted Isaiah 66, right?
Con, let me get this one while you're getting that. This is Isaiah 35:10. And the ransom of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. Can you imagine them songs? Like them beautiful voices in this world, like the Beyoncés, but they all singing songs to the Lord. Them songs in the church, they always gave you that feeling. That's why Jay go to the church in the first place. Because them songs.
Yeah.
Could you imagine them songs of Zion being sung in the kingdom? Yahawashi being there in the midst of those songs being performed? That's the kind of rest the Lord is preparing for us, man. And it's going to happen in the flesh, man. It ain't just going to be in our imagination forever. You got it?
It's, Isaiah 66. And I'm going to start at verse 1. Nah. Let me jump down to...
While you getting that real quick, Great Millstone Daily Bread 411, the Wadakia. This is Isaiah 4:5. And the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion, and upon her assemblies, a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. Can you imagine that? Waking up and just looking up in the sky, and instead of seeing stars, you see chariots just everywhere, man. The streets paved with gold. Could you imagine that?
Right, the vibration of that.
The beauty of the kingdom being prepared through the Spirit. Man, Kal Halalyam Yahawah for even giving us this kind of hope. Because in the world, your hope was that you have a wife, you have a white picket fence, you have a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, the Lord saying we gonna never labor or be weary. Could you imagine never being tired? Like never being tired. Could you imagine? That's what the Lord is preparing for us, man.
Right.
You got it.
I'm going to get this to Isaiah 1 and Isaiah 66. I'm going to jump to Isaiah 65.
Yeah, wherever the Spirit carry you, Akil.
This is Isaiah 66 and verse 22. It says, 21, and I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Lord. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain.
Ooh. Hey, the scriptures say, our seed shall be known among the Gentiles. That means a regular Israelite can go into any foreign land in the kingdom of heaven and get treated like the top-notch Israelite in the kingdom, man.
Right.
Because Jake love that attention. You know, Jake be doing a lot of things. In the kingdom, you're going to have that if that's what you want. You can go to another land and they're going to be like, oh, that's one of the children of Israel. Yeah. That's one of the sons of God.
Face gator.
Your seed going to be known. That means it's going to be a certain glow to our people, man. Right now, there's a certain salt that none of these other nations can touch.
Yeah.
How much more so in the kingdom when the Lord upgrades our bodies, gives us that glorious appeal, that beauty that we had in the ancient world, but upgraded. That's what's being prepared for us, man. That's why the scriptures say, pray for a few days unto you. This should be an exciting time because everything you see according to prophecy means we're one step closer to that.
Right.
You got it.
This is Isaiah 65. And I'm going to start at verse 13. It reads, therefore thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For the Lord power shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name. That he who hath blessed himself in the earth shall bless himself in God of truth. And he that sweareth in the earth shall swear by the God of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, and because they are hid from mine eyes. Ooh. Verse 17, for behold, I create a new heavens and new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. Hey, and that new heaven and new earth is speaking about a refreshed earth, all right, a new rulership coming into power. It says, and the former shall not be remembered nor come to mind. And we're going to be at so much rest, so much peace. We're not even going to think about this no more. We're not even going to think about this captivity no more. It's not going to matter. We're going to have abundance before us. We're going to be able to be. We're going to be able to actually explore and adventure and actually get deep into the Lord's creation like we were created to do.
Hey, the scriptures say none shall make us afraid. You ain't going to be, you know how Jake right now, I don't like doing. Yeah. You know, I don't want to go into the woods. I ain't trying to swim all. Hey, Jake, go to the beach and just get their feet wet.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna have no fear of nothing on the earth, man. We're gonna be able to enjoy life, man. Mm-hmm. If you want to go into the Pacific Ocean and just dive and see the mountains that the Lord got underwater, feel free to do so. That's what's being prepared for us. Mm-hmm. You think Esau's imagination is greater than the Heavenly Father's? Here it is, they make all of these movies like Avengers and all of these different movies about different galaxies. We just talking about Earth right now. We ain't even talking about the other mansions that have been prepared. Just Earth and just what we can see and taste and touch and feel. That kind of rest is being prepared. But then there's things that eyes have not even seen, that we can't even imagine.
Right.
And it's like the Lord say, if a son asks his father for bread, would he give him a stone? The Lord says his good pleasure to give us the kingdom. It's going to be like, and it's that wicked holiday Christmas, but it's going to be similar to how a parent be excited to give their children gifts. Like, he gonna go crazy when he see this one. Yeah. When I give him this one, that's how the Lord is looking. He's looking forward to giving us the kingdom, man. Everything in the process of time, man. Okay. Brothers love having stones. Brothers love incense. That's all of that's going to be prepared for us. That's what we have to look forward to through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. Look at what the Lord gave Esau. The one he hate. He got $7 million yachts. All right, he got a yacht with a boat out that come out of it. He can at least go to the atmosphere. He get rest. Yeah. He got a estate. He got servants. And the Lord hate this man. How much more so the Lord's chosen, the apple of his eye. That rest is going to be glorious, man.
Glorious.
To see Yahawashi in the flesh and enjoying life, that's worth every bit of sweat that we putting down out here right now, and then some, man. To see that, just to be in the company of them, seeing King David back in his position, for the naysayers, to see him and to know, oh man, there go Elijah.
Yeah.
Oh, there go King David.
Mama, there go that man.
Yeah. To see us all in good case, man. No poor Edomite. I mean, no poor Israelites. Yeah. All right, we're gonna have some. Yeah, we're gonna Edomites. That goes without saying. They're gonna get done dirty, as they should.
Oh yeah.
But in the kingdom, ain't gonna be no more poor Jakes. No more. Let me reach inside my pocket and give Jake $1 because I feel bad.
Yeah.
We all gonna be good, man. That's what we have prepared for us through the Spirit. We don't have a continuing city here, but that's what's to come. That's what we have to look forward to.
Right. And if I may say this too, and it's important to have something to look forward to. You know, the reason why a lot of these people in the world are so bugged out is because they have no vision of the future. They don't know what's going on right now. They don't know how they're going to get out of this situation, and they don't know what's coming. But through the Spirit and power of Yahawashi, He's giving us a vision of that continuing city. All right, and it's not too far-fetched. We can see it right now within different brothers. The scriptures say that the kingdom of heaven is within you. And we can see that continuing city, that rest, being built up right now. But this is back in Isaiah 65.
Let me go ahead, finish. Go ahead, you got it, because mine a little bit longer. You got it.
It says, verse 18, but be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people. And the voice of weeping shall no more be heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that have not fulfilled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. And right now it's cold, man. Because, you know, me personally, I see a lot of Jakes building houses. You know, they building all these houses, and they don't have it in none of them. Yep. They don't even live nowhere near them. But the Lord said, what? We're going to build houses, and we're going to inhabit them, man. We're going to have mansions. We're going to have the house look like a city, man. Servants on servants on servants, man. You know, we're going to be able to inhabit our city, have vineyards, you know, have resources, man, true resources. It says, they shall not build and another inhabit.
Because that's what's going on now. And Jake that work construction know that very well. Here it is, you putting down marble, you putting down granite, you installing cupboards, all right, you installing lines. And then when the finished product is done, you look around and you like, man, we did a good job, man. And then somebody else get to come and live in that.
You close the door, go back to your apartment.
Yeah, you got to go back to your apartment and warm up the noodles.
And don't trespass here, Negro.
Yeah. That's not going to be our reality in the future. Right now, this is a temporary state of being. And again, that goes back to what we said earlier. This is the punishment that we deserve for being spoiled children. Yeah. When the Lord gave us things. Mm-hmm. But the Lord is not going to punish or hold anger forever. We coming into the time where the Lord's going to enjoy giving us the kingdom. Just like when Jake enjoyed giving their children gifts. Like, man.
Yeah.
You smile when you see the gift because you know how they going to react. That's how the kingdom is being prepared for Jake, man. We have to continue to keep that hope in our mind. Real quick, to land back off that, Ecclesiastes 37:25 says, the days of the life of man may be numbered, but the days of Israel are innumerable, man. You got it.
It says, they shall not build and another inhabit. And our days are innumerable. Why? Because the Lord is going to give us that heart of flesh, right? All right, so that we don't sin. Now, the penalty for sin right now is death. Right. So being in these corruptible bodies, man, this flesh, you know, these chains of darkness, we're subject to sin. You know, we're subject to go off even though we want to do right. But through the Spirit, man, through those promises, that promise that the Lord made with our forefathers, He's going to give us that heart of flesh to where we can't go off. Which means what? Immortality for our nation. An eternity to enjoy the Lord's creation. And the earth alone probably gonna take us thousands of years to explore and fully get acquainted with before we even go out to those other mansions, man. But that's what's being prepared. But it says, they shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. As for the days of a tree, as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and their offspring with them. And it says they shall not labor in vain. Our labor is not in vain. All right, we're not doing this for no reason. All right, you can plainly see that we're doing this we're doing this, and things are happening, man. All right, the Lord is coming through. The Lord is playing out prophecy, man. As we're putting forth our hand to the plow, the Lord is moving, man. All right, it says, and it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer.
Could you imagine that? Before you even call, before you even start your prayer, the Lord just answer you?
I didn't know what you want.
You got it.
Bro, you got it. I already know what you want, bro. It's already done, you know?
Go ahead.
It says, and it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together.
Man, could you imagine that? Seeing a wolf and a lamb, they playing, they having a good time.
Right.
Bro, the Lord is preparing this for us, man. This ain't just words in the book.
Right.
You got it.
It says, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith Yahawashi bahasham Yahawashi.
I got one real quick. This is Psalms 126:1. And it says, a song of degrees. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him.
Right. Hey, and the reward for us sowing to the Spirit right now is gonna be that everlasting. We're gonna reap everlasting rest. All right. Right now we reaping. You know, we signing and crying like we're supposed to be doing. All right. But the reward for that, all right, is gonna be that rest. All right. Like the scripture say in Psalm 68, I think it's Psalm 68 or 58. It says, verily they shall say there is a reward for righteousness, 58. Man. Verily it shall be said in the earth, there was a reward for righteousness. Right now, people don't think there's a reward for righteousness. They don't think there's a reward for following the Lord. You know, why should I give away the lust of the flesh? It ain't like he coming back anytime soon. You know, ain't like, you know, he actually real. When in fact, man, there is a reward for righteousness, man. There's a reward for fighting this fight. There's a reward for turning away the lust of the flesh, man. There's a reward for these things. And that reward is what? Rest. All right, you're going to be able to do one of these. Let your shoulders down, man. You know, and actually breathe. Take in a fresh breath of air. And not all this polluted, you know, garbage. You're going to be able to actually rest. And not only you, but your nation, man. The whole nation.
Real quick, this is Psalms or Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 12. For thus saith Yahawashi Yahawashi, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom is his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. When ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of the Lord shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation toward his enemies, man. All of our enemies are going to be subdued through the Spirit, man. And we're going to be comforted by Yahawashi Yahawashi. All right, and that's why we're going through this punishment now, because better is the end of the thing, all right, than the beginning. We started off being in captivity since we left Egypt, but we're going to end in everlasting joy and salvation, man. Lord willing, we're part of that number.
Right.
Real quick, this is Isaiah 45 and 17. And it reads, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end, man. That's what's being prepared for us, man, through the Spirit and power of Yahawashi Yahawashi. And when you understand that, this is not our rest. This is too small and it's unfit when you look at what the Lord has promised for us, man. You got another one?
One more.
Come on.
This is 2 Maccabees chapter 15 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 10. The point is in 11. It says, and when he has stirred up their minds, He gave them their charge, shewing them therewithal the falsehood of the heathen, and the breach of oaths. Thus he armed every one of them, not so much with defense of shields and spears, as with comfortable and good words. And beside that, he told them a dream worthy to be believed, as if it had been so indeed, which did not a little rejoice them. And this was his vision. Hey, but the point being, he armed the people, Maccabeus, he armed the people with comfortable words, which right now what we're doing through the Spirit is exhorting the Lord's people to continue in the faith, to continue the good fight of faith, because there's a reward for righteousness. There's a reward for this fight that we're fighting, and that reward is that continual city.
Real quick, I got one more. This is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, "In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, Fear thou not, and to Zion, let not thine hands be slack. The Lord thy power in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord," man. So this is going to play out before our eyes through the Spirit and power of Yahawashi. And that when you understand what's being promised to us, this place is not fit, man. You hasten to escape from this place. The captive exile hasteneth, all right, that he shall not die in the pit. We want to see these things with our own eyes through the Spirit, man. Because the Lord said that at the end. He said, again, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes. What we see going on in the world is the Lord turning back our captivity. Brothers being gathered, all right? The few sisters being gathered, all right? The kingdom being envisioned in the minds of the hopeful elect. And then the Lord topping your imagination of what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Far exceeding your own imagination of what that moment is going to be like for you. Lord willing, we're a part of that number. But that's how you have to look. You have to have a vision, like Apostle Gabar says. You have to have that vision. Otherwise, you're going to fall short if you're not holding on to that vision and that helmet of salvation. Yeah. All right, so you got another one?
That was it.
And so with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and the sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom. Wa abba babal.